Darrell, just overall view of tonight's game.
Painful watch. There's no hiding from that fact. A million miles away from where we need to be. Where we need to be at. I think there's lots of circumstances in and around that as well as a why. And but listen, like I said, I can't say no more. It's a painful night. It's painful watching that, to be honest with you, at times. But where we're at the minute, I'm afraid, so more work, more mentality. You still see players a little bit scarred. Still see players trying to find the feet a little bit, get the rhythm, and. But like I said to the players there after the game, after the pitch, you've got to stomach this up, because those performances won't be accepted by myself or supporters. So you've got to dig deep and understand that next time you come out, be miles better.
The manner of the goals must have just left you so immensely frustrated, helpless completely. It's individual errors and completely punished by Cambridge.
It's not just the goals, it's just the performance in general, to be honest with you. The goals are poor conceded goals, and we're a little bit lightweight in the back line as things stand at the minute with circumstances. So we do look a little bit soft at the minute, we do look a little bit fragile, we do look like we're not a team, anywhere near a team at the minute, and that's up to myself and the coaching staff to get that a lot better and a lot righter. So I'll take the pressure off the players, and I know where we're sort of going to be heading, and we're a million miles away off that. So it's a bit of another painful night for us.
You made the changes at the break, but was it two you had pre-planned? You said about the number of games recently. I know it enabled you to change the shape of the two coming off. Was it just because of that?
Well, listen, Alfie's calf tightened really up. We know the centre-back situation, so there's no way I could afford to risk that. I've got Promise and Josh on the bench, but they wouldn't have even made the bench, to be honest with you. I didn't have 9 subs, because I've got to be careful on their minutes and their load, because obviously Promise's injury record last season, I can't afford to play him Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday off the bat. And these are the things that that's always going to stop getting some rhythm. Players, Fabrizio's coming in fresh, but he plays his first 60, 65 minutes the other day. There's so many circumstances around why that performance is as bad as it is, but listen, I always take accountability for that. But it's a painful night, but I also know there won't be loads of nights like that.
Chesterfield Saturday, you've said before about bringing a couple of players in before the window shuts, but is there going to be enough time to do any business by then?
Well, let's hope so, because we need them, don't we? It's there for all to see. Obviously we've had a window. There's always going to be a bit of a transfer window like this, as in to say, because when you get relegated, there has to be a sensibility on your costs and cover your costs, and we've had to sell a couple of players, which is then going to enable us to invest in other areas of the squad. So that with that, you have to be patient, but you also have to make sure that you get players better than the ones we've got in the building. I don't want squad players coming in. I certainly don't need that. I need players that are going to be coming into the 11 to make us a lot stronger, and we will get stronger. Listen, it's painful at the minute. It's painful for my gasheads. It's painful for the fans. I get it. I understand it. I understand the frustration. We want to hit the ground running, but. Sometimes these circumstances and my experience in football, it goes a little bit like this way, and we just got to keep it as positive as we possibly can in and around the change rooms and the training ground, and make sure that the players feel the pain as well. It's important that they understand what our fans are about, because I know our fans. I've known them for years, and they'll soon turn opinion as long as the performances are miles better than that, and they'll get behind the boys. With that, I don't doubt, but we have to put on performances that are going to be a hell of a lot better for them to be able to do that.
Just final one from me. You said about the experience you had it in the National League didn't start too well, picked up, and can you refer back to that and say sometimes you do go through these spells, but eventually it can turn out good?
The fortunate thing for me is in my career is I've never really taken over clubs that have been flying. Bristol Rovers last time, Port Vale didn't win in the first 7 games, won 9 out of 11 out of the last, then got promoted the next year. They only won 1 in 17. Cheltenham hadn't scored a goal in 11 games. So what I'm trying to get with that is that I understand the process we're going in at the minute. I'm not to say I'm happy about it, by the way. Obviously, I'm not happy about it. We want to be getting on a better start. But I also understand that what needs to be done to be able to make sure that the pain is as short as possible, because it is painful at the minute. I get it, I understand it, and I think listen, I do understand the fans get it to a certain aspect as well. A lot of the fans they're going to hate me saying it, but we have to be a little bit patient. Have to be patient to where we need to get to, and until I can change the mentality around the club and 1 or 2 player changes and whatnot, it'll be a few more painful times like this, but then we'll grow stronger.
Thank you very much for your time.
You'll say you'll take accountability, but are there some players on that pitch that should be taking accountability themselves as well?
I think we all have to, and players do, but also I'm a little bit not to get on too many players' backs at the minute, because I could tear strips out of the changing room. They probably deserved it and needed it, but I don't think that's going to be the right response at the minute, because I think one or two, like I said to you before, are still scarred. I think the connection between the players and the fans is nowhere near. We can see that. I can understand that from the disappointment of last season, and we ain't got off to a good start this season. So I'm a calculated guy. I log it every minute of my day. I'm thinking about, right, what needs to be said, what needs to be done, how we need to work. But the fact of the matter is getting a few more bodies in and getting the players that have joined the club to settle in a little bit better and get them in a bit more rhythm quicker. And also making sure that the players that were here last year are not carrying on performances as bad as they were tonight, if that makes sense.
Right, Ron Howley came into the club as a midfielder, but obviously played centre-back tonight. Is that something he brought with him in terms of that adaptability, or is that more a reflection of the shortage of defenders at the moment?
Well, listen, we are short in that area. We're short in the midfield area, so they're the two areas we really need to concentrate on, which we have been concentrating on. One or two things are down the line, so hopefully we can get a bit of good news in before the weekend, because we need it, because listen, anybody with any sense knows we're short in areas, but sometimes that's the nature of the window where it's at. But what we want good players coming into the club, and not carrying on bad recruitment on top of bad recruitment, because that will be painful.
Young Dan Anderson hasn't made his competitive debut for Rovers yet, but he was on the bench. Where does he stand in your plans? Was there ever any thought of bringing him in tonight, or did you want to maybe not?
Listen, I'm making more changes than I'd like for injuries personnel, but I still wanted to win the game tonight as well. So I'm trying to juggle so many balls down at the minute, if I'm honest with you, just to make sure that we're not losing players for 4 to 6 weeks. I can't afford to be losing key players for 4 to 6 weeks when we're a bit short on the numbers with losing obviously Connor Taylor and midfield eights Kofi Shaw as well. So we're definitely short in those areas. So we just need to be a little bit patient. I understand that with Dan. I get what he's saying, but he's coming on, but he might have to wait for a little bit more for an opportunity.
Just lastly, Ellis got his first start since coming back to the football club. Maybe one of the positives to come out of tonight, potentially?
We know what Ellis is going to get. We know what he's going to give. As soon as we get him fitter and getting a bit sharper, we know what he's going to bring. He knows how much he cares about the club, and you can already see he's one of probably the shining lights of tonight, getting 55 minutes under his belt, being a nuisance up top, winning a lot of contacts, and when we get Promise up to the Spurs, and Fabrizio, all of a sudden our front line's looking a lot more tastier.